Perfect. I'll go ahead and hand it over to Danielle just for a quick introduction. I did forget to introduce myself. Sorry, everybody. My name is Felicia Watkins, and I am the Employer Engagement Manager for the South region. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to you, Danielle.
Hi everyone, I am Danielle. I am an alumna with WGU twice actually. I have my Bachelor's of Science in Psychology and I am an MPH graduate. So I have my Master in Public Health here from WGU. Currently, I am the Regional Director for the Shreveport region in Gulf Coast Social Services. It's a social services agency that we have here in Louisiana. Although we are new in the Shreveport area, our company is well established. We've been in Louisiana for over 40 years now, mostly in the South and in the central area of Louisiana. So our Shreveport office is our first in North Louisiana. And they have given me the responsibility of opening us up in the North. So I'm very excited about that. Here at the Social Services Agency, most of our programs are youth-based in our office. We are serving children 0 through 5, their parents, pregnant parents. We really focus on serving our clients and their entire families, helping them with resource navigation, helping them get connected with other services that they may need. If they need help with WIC, if they need help with food stamps, with Medicaid, with anything that they may need, we help them navigate to those services. Our resource navigators also help the clients directly. If their child needs an IEP, they'll help them complete the IEP. Our clinicians do therapy with the children, they do therapy with the parents. And because this is social services, most of our services are actually covered through Medicaid. And so our clients don't pay us anything. Most of the services that we're getting to provide are free for the community. So I said all of that to say I am in my dream job. And I always thought that I would be here, but I did not imagine that after graduating, I would get into my dream job so quickly. So I really wanted to hold this session because I know that a lot of people go into psychology and public health, and it's because you have a passion for it. But a lot of the times we really don't understand how to use the education that we have to serve us as well in our career. We're so focused on how we can serve other people, we're not really thinking about how we can use this to maximize our careers as well. And so I wanted to hold this session so that I can help other students in these programs figure out ways that they can maximize their education and that you can use your time at WGU to get the career that you want and not settle for a career that, you know, a career that you think that you can get. No, you can get the career that you want. You deserve the career that you desire and that you dream of. So that is what I am so excited to talk to you guys about today. I wanted to start just with my journey. I started college over 20 years ago. Back in 2004, I started at the University of New Orleans and I did okay, but not so great. So when Katrina came the very next year before our next semester, I saw that as a chance to take a break. I was not prepared for school. I was not prepared for college. I knew that I wanted to do something in psychology. I wanted to be a counselor, but I had no idea how to navigate higher education. I just really didn't. And so I decided to take a break. And as we know, breaks for college students usually end up being much longer than we projected. So that lasted for quite a few years. I just entered into the workforce, started working, started living as a full grown adult. And then life happened and I decided, you know what? I need a stable career. So I'm going to go back to school. And I went to a few programs and I went to some for-profit schools that did not work out for me. And then I decided when I moved to Shreveport that I would go to the local community college here and just go for dental hygiene. You can graduate dental hygiene, you can make $70,000 plus, and you'll make between 70 and 80 your whole career, but you'll have a pretty consistent career. So I was just going to do that. I did my prereqs, I took the test, and I didn't get in. They said that I had to do another year of prereqs, and then I can try again to get into the actual cohort. So in that time, I decided, well, I don't want to spend another year here because I really don't want to be a dental hygienist. Let me see if I can find a psychology program nearby or something online that's not going to be for profit, that's not just going to take my money, that's actually going to teach me what I want to learn. So I did my research, found WGU. It just so happened that they literally had just started the psychology program. So I signed up, did the enrollment. The enrollment person that I got initially was not so great, but I called the enrollment department and I said, hey, I need some help. Can you help me? The lady on the phone helped me. And I asked if she could be my enrollment counselor from then on. She became my enrollment counselor. Everything was seamless from then. I was introduced to my mentor. And that is where I want to pause. WGU students, I want to make it very, very clear that one of the most important things in your journey as a night owl is to connect with the right mentor. You will know it's the right mentor when you want to have those connections, when you want to do your weekly check-ins or your monthly check-ins, however you have set it up. You'll know it's the right mentor when you have a problem and you feel comfortable reaching out to them. If you don't feel like that about your mentor, the great thing about WGU is that you contact student services, you let them know you want a new mentor, and you can even give them some context of what would be a better mentor for you. They'll connect you with a new one, and then you can go from there. The best thing I learned with WGU that has helped me in my career is that you do not have to settle. You don't have to settle in any part of your life. If something is not serving the greater cause, you can do what you need to do to make sure that it gets corrected. And WGU, the great thing about them is that they have the resources there for you. But in life, we don't have the resources there. So we have to figure it out on our own. Learning how to do that and getting those habits, doing that with WGU, reaching out for those resources, using them, that really does help you. See, Zylena has a great mentor. That really does help you when you're in the workforce as well. Like I said, my job, a big part of it is resource navigation. So the fact that I have experience using resources to get to a better station in life gives me some context to be able to help my clients, be able to talk to the people that I need to make those connections to make sure that the resources we have been properly vetted and are actually serving our clients. So first thing I say, make sure you have a great mentor, make sure you're connecting with your mentor, make sure that that relationship from day one is really established, because life is going to keep lifing. And you can have all the plans that you want. You can be as organized as you want. But when something comes up, you really want to have that trusted person that you can talk to, that you can figure things out with. And the great thing about WGU is if you're being proactive, if you're being open, they will not let you just slide off. We're going to do everything we can here to make sure that none of our night owls end up suffering. You know, we're going to do everything in our power, but the biggest thing as a student is to make sure that you're being very proactive and taking control of your own learning journey. So that's my first thing. The second thing that I want to talk about is your dreams. So, like I said, I was going for dental hygiene because I just wanted a career. And when I found WGU psychology department, it reminded me of what my actual goal was, that I really wanted to have a community-based center where I have mentoring program for teenage girls, where I have community resources, and it can just be a community hub. That is my ultimate goal, and to actually be able to provide mental health therapy as well. So that's my ultimate goal. And what I did was I wrote down my goal, and then I wrote down different pathways that I can get to that goal. So if I want to have a community center, I know that I need to know about community centers. I need to know about the resources that go into that. If I want to have a mentoring program, I need to understand lifespan development. I need to understand how adolescents are developing, what they're going through, what they need, and all of those things. I need to have the education in mental health counseling if I want to be a counselor. I need to know how to write grants and research grants if I want to have community programs. So in order to do those things, I figured out which types of education do I need, and I'm researching into the programs. I need a psychology degree. Not I need it, but I want a psychology degree because I'm really interested in psychology. I need to get a clinical mental health license. So I have to find a program that I can go to here in Louisiana, or one that's going to be remote, that's also going to be able to get me licensed here in Louisiana. So I have to research into that. What prerequisites do I need to get into this program? Is it something that I can do at WGU, or do I need to do it outside? A lot of those things, what happens for a lot of people is we graduate, we have the psychology degree, the undergraduate psychology degree, and we're ready to now go to the next level. But when we're ready to do it, we realize there were so many other things that we needed to do before we can even get the next level. That's not the next level. That's actually 5 levels above. And so why I say to dream big and work backwards is because if you're doing that, if you say, I want a PhD, and you start researching how to get a PhD, then you know in order to get a PhD, you need to have a master's degree. Okay, you know, in order to get a PhD in this specific thing, you're going to have to write a dissertation. So you're going to need to know how to do research, reverse engineering. Exactly. You're going to need to know how to do research. You're going to need to know how to find sources that are good sources. You're going to have to know how to do research and statistics, those sorts of things. So reverse engineering, I love that. Reverse engineer your career. Think big and then go down from there. That is how I engineered mine. So after I found the psych degree, I enrolled in WGU. I started my psychology program. I did have some obstacles. I had some really traumatic things happen during my program, and I actually had to take like a month or two break during my first term. But I talked to my mentor and we were able to work that out. But during my program, I really immersed myself in the learning. WGU is a great school to prepare you to be very, very, very proficient in the workforce, but only if you are really taking it seriously. If you're just going in there, doing a pre-assessment, taking the pre-assessment, going to the next class, it's not going to be enough. I cannot stress how important it is to really dive into that course material. Take the pre-planning assessment and dive into the course material to really understand all of those things. With the psychology and my public health degree, so many things that I've done, so many of those PAs that I've done, I've actually used them at my job. The community health assessment that I did, I have used that here. My resource navigator uses that to figure out what resources we need. I use that to develop 2 new programs in our region. I used our grant, the PA that we did with the grant writing, to learn how to write the grants. I used my capstone that I did for my undergraduate program, which is all about parentification in Black adolescent females. I used that to not only get this position, but to also create a new program that specifically is geared around helping parents have the resources so they're not having to parentify their children. And also, we have classes and workshops that teach parents about parentification and adultification so that they can recognize when they are parentifying their children, and they can recognize when systems are gatekeepers are adultifying their children, and we provide them with the resources to navigate that. And so So everything that I've done, I mean, I have a one-on-one conversation with our CEO every week, and literally after that conversation, I am in my WGU folders looking for stuff because the conversation we had, there's something in there that's like, wow, I have something that we wrote or some sort of course material that is directly related to this that I can use to help me with my job. Thank you, Sakina. And so that's what I also want to bring up. What you're doing at WGU, I don't want you to think about it just as your schoolwork. This is your portfolio, okay? This becomes a portfolio that you can take on to the next level. I just recently got accepted into a clinical mental health counseling graduate program at Prescott College. I'm going to be focused on somatic counseling, which aligns because I'm so sorry, I'm also a yoga teacher. Let me take a sip of water. And one of the questions that they ask and that they make sure you have to turn in samples is that you have experience writing APA. You have experience doing research. And so I was able to turn in my writing samples from WGU for my application. I was able to use my mentor as one of my recommendations. One of my instructors did a recommendation for me because I fostered those relationships with them. And a lot of the times it's difficult to do that in a digital space. We're online, but reach out to your mentor. When you're in a new class, if this is the first class you've taken with that professor, send them an email. Hi, I'm excited to start your class. It doesn't have to be something you don't have to set an appointment if you don't need one, but just reach out to them so that they know your name, so that they know who you are. If you're doing great work as well, a lot of people don't know this. Your instructors are following. They can actually see how long you're spending in your course material. They can see what type of things you're doing on there. So be active, reach out to them. Use the social media platforms that WGU has to connect with other students, and not only just WGU students, but in person. Students who are going to school near you, connect with those people, non-traditional students in your area as well. Join professional organizations. I'm a part of an organization called Sisters in Public Health. And it is primarily for BIPOC, but any person can join it. And that really helps you because a lot of those resources are shared among people who they learned it as they went along. And so you can really learn from people who have been where you've been so you don't make the mistakes that they made. And then my last thing is to make sure that you're also connecting with your instructors and program people outside of school. They have publications that they're doing. They're often speaking at events or having workshops. So if an instructor interests you, if an alumni interests you, anything like that, follow them. Really do connect with them. And I know a lot of the times when it comes to networking, especially when we're online students, it can feel weird to reach out to someone on LinkedIn or reach out to someone and say, hey, I'm a night owl too, and I like your work. I'd love to connect. But do it. Do it. You would be very surprised how often you get bites. You actually get bites more than you get rejections. So I really want to encourage you to do that as well. So that's about my journey. What I'm doing now, like I said, I am a regional director. I run this entire region. I've started this building. As you can see, the walls look really bare because we're getting painting done. It's a lot of responsibility. So coming from WGU, I want you to know that you can achieve anything and you can get anything. You can really do dream big and don't let anything stop you. If you don't have the experience, if you don't have the certifications, if you don't have the actual skills that are required, go get them. But don't let yourself think that WGU is a school that's not going to get you in the places that you want to be. WGU students are everywhere, and we will continue to be everywhere because our network is like no other, especially for an online school. As you can see, I'm here, Felicia's in Houston. We're in constant contact, and I'm just a student. I'm just a student, just like you guys. Like, there's nothing special about me any more than there is special about each and every one of you. So I really want to stress that use WGU to your advantage, but also make sure that you are going for, you're dreaming as big as you can, and you're seeking as big as your dreams are as well.
Very motivational. Daniel, you're such a great speaker. And I really think it was interesting to know that you're still using your PAs and stuff in your day-to-day work. I think that's a pretty neat thing. I wouldn't think to hold on to stuff like that. I can't tell you how many times I probably have deleted something and thought after the fact, like, man, I wish I still had that file somewhere. So
Yeah,
definitely
it's
hold
so
on to
useful.
those.
So useful. And I'm not like my children would say, I'm not capping. Maybe they wouldn't say that anymore, but I'm not blowing smoke, you guys. Like, I literally use this knowledge, but I'm actually using my work that I've done at WGU for the work that I'm doing in my real life. So what I do here now, I do want to talk about some of our job opportunities that we have and career opportunities that we have. With psychology, with public health, again, a lot of people are unsure of how to use those degrees. That's why I really focus on the reverse engineering, because if you start there, then you'll know exactly what you're getting this degree for, right? Some people go to get the psychology degree because they really love learning about the mind, and that's their goal. But they just need the bachelor's degree for a specific checkbox. Okay, so I want you to really think about your specific context about why you're getting this degree that you're getting. And then you can figure out how you can use it to get where you want to get. Psychology is a great degree to get because pretty much every field you're going to be working with people. So using your psychology degree to explain how you can understand the mindset behind things, understand the mental processes behind what's going on is really useful. I also, after I got my psychology degree from WGU, I also taught for a semester. So I taught English for eighth graders for a semester with my psychology degree. And again, through that, how did I get that? Because I talked about the lifespan development that I learned with my psychology degree. I talked about learning how different people learn in different ways, about how psychology can help me with differentiation when it comes to lesson planning. And so I don't want, and I hope that you guys did not come here thinking that, like, I'm going to say with the psychology, you can do this, that, and the third. Yeah, because you can do pretty much anything. What I want to say is that using your degree, you have to figure out what you're getting it for. And you have to pull those skills and that knowledge out of that degree for the specific position that you want. If it's for sales, you have psychology, so you understand desire, you understand how impulse, you understand all of these things that can help you a better salesperson. If you are doing mental health, and I know a lot of mental health, behavior health fields, they want you to have master's degrees. Figure out if there is an entry level that you can get in, and you can grow from there. I'm currently hiring a behavior consultant, which will help with our therapeutic foster care. When children are removed from their homes and they have behavioral health issues, or maybe they had mental health issues, they have to be placed in therapeutic foster care instead of the traditional foster care. So I'm hiring someone for that position. And as I'm interviewing, I'm always looking for people that I see the passion. I see that you have the education or the understanding, but you may not have the experience that I need for this particular position, but when I have an entry level position, that will be perfect for you. And then you can grow into the behavior consultant. You can grow into a program director. You can grow into a regional director. And you're not only just growing from the stuff that you learn from school, but you're also going to be getting the context from this position, this particular job, and these particular programs that's going to help you grow and be even more knowledgeable and proficient in your position. I had a person who came in for the community health worker position, and she was too green for that role because, as I said, this is a new region. So I needed a resource navigator who already knew how to resource navigate, who already knew how to talk to people, who already came in actually with a good list of resources that they had personal relationships with. But guess what? I need another community health worker. We're about to post another position in the next couple of weeks for another community health worker. And so if she's still available, I can contact her and see if she would like this position, because it's not one that I need someone to be super, super experienced in. It's someone that can grow and can learn and be mentored in this position. So I say that to say, if you find the job, if you find the position, the field that you want to go into, get in that entry level. Get in where you can get in and grow with that company or grow in that field. Like I've told people here, you come here and you're learning how to navigate, and we don't have a regional director role available. All our regions are full. We do have one available. I do want to mention that though. But let's say we don't, and you want to grow with another company. I welcome that. I actually champion you doing that. We need good people everywhere. We need as many good people in good positions and good companies as we can get. And so, yeah, don't let yourself get discouraged if you're not getting the position that you want initially, if you're not getting the level of the position that you want initially. Let yourself work your way up. Continue to do what you're doing in the outside, those professional organizations, networking with other students, continuing to be in contact with any contacts that you made while you're in school, and also continuing to learn, taking certification classes, continued education, so that you can grow, and when those positions are available, you can snatch them. So a couple of positions that we are currently hiring for here at Gulf Coast Social Services, we have regional directors we are looking for in Lake Charles. So we are looking for a Lake Charles regional director. We're going to put the link to our career page in the chat as well. And as we get job openings in any region, that's the central location that they'll go. Like I said, we're located all throughout the state. The only region we're currently not covering is Monroe. And Felicia has put that in the chat for you guys. So like I said, we're hiring a regional director in Lake Charles. We are also hiring for an area supervisor in Hammond. And then in my office, we're going to be posting very soon a behavior consultant for our therapeutic foster care and another community health worker for our ECSS and other youth-based programs. We had an office manager position open, but we just filled that one as well. And like I said, I just got approved for 2 new programs, and my wheels are constantly turning as far as how we can serve the community. And so I'm always looking for ways to create new positions, because with serving the community, jobs is a great way to serve the community. So what do the community health workers do? Would that be entry level? That is a great question. With a degree, it would be entry level, absolutely. With a degree in human services, it would be entry level. Now, you would need experience in the work field, in the workforce, which most WGU students come into WGU with work experience. So if this is your first job, no. But if you've had experience, yes, and you have a degree in a human services field, it is an entry level position. And I think that about wraps me up. If anybody has questions.
Absolutely. If anybody has any questions, if you'd like to ask out loud, feel free to raise your hand and I can unmute you. Or if you're more comfortable just dropping it in the chat, go ahead and drop it there and we can read it from the chat out loud. But I definitely, on behalf of everybody, I'd love to say thanks for joining us, Danielle. Definitely animated about everything you speak about, and always an exciting conversation when I get the chance to talk to you. So we definitely look forward to hearing about the work that you do in Shreveport as your office grows, and looking forward to your grand opening. I think you said in June, correct?
Yep, the day before Juneteenth.
Perfect. Well, we definitely will keep an eye out for anything there. I'm sure anybody that would like to connect, Danielle is on LinkedIn, so feel free to connect there. But if we have any questions, like I said, feel free to drop those there.
Question.
Oh, I think we do.
And I do want
From
to valid, I did want to get back to your question because I feel like I answered if it was entry level, but not the first part. So what do the community health workers do? So our community health workers are our heartbeat. They are literally the connection between services and our clients. So community health workers, they do outreach. They make partners with other organizations. They compile the resource guides that we have for our clients. So if our clients is having transportation issues, if they're needing emergency care, child care, we have a resource guide where we can call these people and we can hook them up with the services that they need. That's the main thing that the resource navigator does, community health worker. But they also do the initial assessments for our clients, and they also take in referrals. So the community health worker is actually doing mental health work as well.
Fallon also asked, did WGU not being CEPH accredited pose any obstacles in getting jobs in the field?
It has not. Now that is a big part of why I'm so big about dream big and reverse engineer. Because for some people, you do need a CEPH accredited program depending upon what your future goals are. But I have not had an issue, even with the DRPH program that I wanted to, that I was thinking about applying to before I, decided that I'm actually going to go with my clinical mental health counseling. You did not have to be CEPH accredited, but if you did have a public health degree that wasn't CEPH accredited, you needed additional experience. So what I would suggest is looking into any type of jobs that you may be looking for. I know government is more specific about needing that. Looking into the CDC if you're planning on looking for jobs for that as well, for their internships that they have to see if it's required, and then I will go from there. But as far as the jobs that I've been looking for, no, I find that that's mostly going to be in government jobs or military jobs.
Perfect. If we have any other questions here, feel free to drop those in the chat still or raise your hand. I think we still have a few more minutes. I will also be sharing our survey, the feedback survey that I mentioned. I'll put that in the chat here in a few moments. But again, thank you for joining us today. Thanks for your participation. Everybody was really great about interacting in the chat and asking questions. If you could give me your feedback in our quick survey, it'll just help us improve these sessions moving forward and making sure that we're connecting with the employers and the alumni that you're really hoping to hear from. So I'm not seeing any more questions just yet, so I think we're probably pretty close to wrapping up. We'll give it another moment if anybody has anything there. But again, Danielle, thank you for dropping in and helping us out here. We'd love to have you join us again someday. And best of luck on the grand opening coming up here soon.
And I put my email in there. If you guys have any questions that you think of afterwards and you want to contact me directly, if you have any questions about the program, feel free to contact me on that email. I would love to chat. Y'all can tell I'm a chatty patty. So one last thing I want to say before we go. If you get the opportunity, go to the commencement. Go to a graduation commencement ceremony. It is an amazing experience. The alumni event is amazing. The actual ceremony is amazing. If you go into the commencement app, it's a great time. People are sharing their regalia. It's amazing. So if you're looking to network, if you're looking to really feel like, you're getting the full student experience, which will absolutely serve you once you get into the workforce, I really, really would suggest that you guys go to that commencement event, and any WGU event that they have locally to you. Go. Any of these virtual events, go to as many of them that interest you, because it's really a great family experience that you get with everyone here at WGU.
It definitely makes it easier to network. Like you said, the us alumni are everywhere and students are everywhere. So it's often you'll run into a night owl just out in the wild. But we do have a lot of alumni events, usually in the larger metro areas. We did get the chance to meet personally in New Orleans at the commencement this year. So it's always great to just connect and get to know some of your fellow night owls and build relationships from there. Well, I think we're good to go ahead and wrap up without any other questions. So I'll go ahead and end our recording now. This again will be sent out to everybody in email. You'll probably get it tomorrow morning. And then I'll also include any other links. I'll include the career page link for the Gulf Coast Social Services page there. Again, there are job postings for all of their offices throughout Louisiana. So you'll see all of those there, and then you'll also see the new positions for the Shreveport office coming here soon. So please take a moment to check those out and apply, and connect with everybody on LinkedIn, and we'll go ahead and call it quits from there. But thanks again, everybody, for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Felicia, and thanks everyone for joining. I really enjoyed this. You guys have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.